Hi there, my name is Vaibhav, and today we are talking about unsupervised learning with Python. Thanks to Manning Publications for taking this topic. It is really a challenging and innovative and forward looking topic, which is changing the way machine learning and AI is impacting the business. So, first of all, something about myself. I am Vaibhav. I am a principal data scientist in Ireland. I have more than 12, 13 years of experience in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. I have worked in different domains, in different continents, and I am a regular speaker at conferences and meetups. So, once we talk about unsupervised learning algorithms, we should take a step back from there first. First of all, we should understand what is the meaning of machine learning and what is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and semi supervised learning, which are a part of machine learning, which are different types of machine learning algorithms. So, in this book, we are precisely studying these branches. We are focusing on unsupervised learning algorithms. So, at the start, in the first chapter, we do understand the unsupervised, supervised, and semi-supervised learning algorithms in a bit. And from second chapter onwards, we dive deep into unsupervised learning algorithms. So, unsupervised learning algorithms, they are very different and very interesting solutions. They try to find patterns like us, like human beings. We do not have annotated datasets. We do not have a direction over there. Instead, we ask the algorithm to find out the patterns in the dataset, which can be used for further solving the business problems. Like, for example, in the diagram shown over here, we have raw data. If I club, if I cluster all the stars as one, all the triangles as one group, all the circles as one group, I'll be getting different clusters over here. Now, I can also do I can also create two groups based on colors, like one is blue, one is white. So based on different attributes, the clusters will change. Unsupervised learning algorithms, they help us in finding the patterns which human beings will be facing difficulty in finding. So in this book, we are using Python and we are covering the unsupervised learning algorithms from mathematical perspective, from their statistical background, and from their practical implementation using Python. It's a hands-on approach, and in this book we are working on structured data, which is our regular row column structured data. Like, for example, if you go to a bank, you would make a transaction that would have a transaction ID, it would have a transaction amount, it would have a date associated with that. So that data, where it is stored in our regular SQL AWS databases, it is in a structured format, wherein our text data or our images, videos and audios, they are called unstructured. What it means is that they cannot be stored in that structured format, at least in their basic form, and that is why they are called unstructured. So in this book we are working on structured data, we are working on text data, we are working on images, and that makes it quite unique. But at the same time, we are diving deep into practical business scenarios using case studies approach. So it talks about the complete spectrum of unsupervised learning algorithms. At the end of each chapter, we have quizzes, we have practice datasets. We are providing best practices, we are providing the common challenges we face, we are talking about the links to research papers also, which will allow the audience to expand their knowledge and move beyond the obvious. The next slide, I'm going to present the table of content, and we are going to spend some time on that. So the part one of the book is a warming up, where we are starting to introduce the concepts. Like I mentioned earlier, we are talking about machine learning. In the first chapter, we are introducing the basics of machine learning. We are talking about what is data science, what are different branches of machine learning. So we are, just gently preparing the audience for the upcoming chapters. Chapter 2 is clustering, wherein we start with the basics of clustering. What is the meaning of clustering, why it is used, where it can be used, what are the pros and cons, all of those things. And in this chapter, we are uh, exploring the most famous clustering techniques, clustering algorithms: k-means technique, hierarchical clustering, and db-scan. These three are arguably the most famous or most popular clustering techniques, and we are exploring them. In the next chapter, we are talking about dimensionality reduction techniques. We are talking about PCA and SVD over here. In both of these chapters, we are using Python as a medium to complete the coding. We are using live case studies as an example, like what will happen in the pragmatic business scenarios, on what basis you will take a decision. Part 2 of the book, it is at intermediate level, wherein we are moving into the advanced clustering techniques. In chapter 2, we talked about k-means, hierarchical, and db-scan. In chapter 4, we will explore time series clustering, spectrum clustering, Gaussian mixture model, and fuzzy clustering. Chapter 5 is an advanced dimensional reduction technique, where we talk about TSNE and linear discriminant analysis, or LDA. This part of the book is at intermediate level, so obviously the difficulty of the concepts is higher than part 1 of the book. But again, Python is used to complete the coding. Yeah, and the codes are also step by step explained across the entire book. Chapter 6 of the book it concentrates on the text data. So it is completely devoted to the textual data only. We start with how do you tokenize the text data, what is the meaning of TF-IDF, term frequency, inverse document frequency, how would you do topic modeling, how would you do sentiment analysis. These topics are understood in depth. Text data, it is a very important source of information, and this chapter concentrates on that. Part 3 of the book is advanced concepts. In the 3 chapters, chapter 7, 8, and 9, we are concentrating on deep learning. We are concentrating on neural network based solutions. We are working on autoencoders or RBM or GAN charts, for images. So we are going to explore image denoising, image generation, image compression, all these use cases using deep learning. And that is why this part of the book is advanced concepts. So part 1 is warming up, part 2 is intermediate level, where we have built upon the part 1, and part 3 is the advanced concepts. Perhaps the most important chapter of the book can be the last chapter, chapter 10. Chapter 10 of the book, it takes the user through end-to-end model journey, from business problem conceptualization to data discovery to data preparation, to exploratory data analysis, statistical modeling. How would you tune the algorithm? How do you deploy the algorithm? This deployment part is very crucial. What are the common challenges we face? What are the best practices we should follow? All these things are explored, are understood, and discussed in detail. Many times we know how to create the algorithm, but all the other parts of machine learning project they are ignored. So this chapter it completes that missing link. And not only model deployment, we also talk about model maintenance and model refresh. So this proposed table of content it is richer than many other available resources because first of all we are talking about all the algorithms, we are using case studies approach, we are using Python for practical implementation, and we are taking the audience through the end-to-end model journey. So the offerings we have in this book are the various algorithms, level 1, level 2, level 3 that we have discussed in the last slide. What is the end-to-end model life cycle? And we are covering structured data, text data, and images. We are completing the spectrum of classical machine learning algorithms to deep learning based solutions. In this book, the biggest differentiators are these points. We are concentrating on unsupervised learning algorithm. First thing, this book it does not leave you in between where you will only get to know that how to create a model. This book it talks step by step about each Python code. It talks about the pragmatic business solution and it covers structured data, text data, and images. Now, all these three in the same book are difficult to be found, but we are striving to achieve that only. Python is the language used, and this list of libraries given over here it is not exhaustive, but we are using all the major libraries: NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, Matplotlib, Seaborn for visualization, NLTK, Gensim, Spacey, text data, right? OpenCV for images, Keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch for our deep learning solutions. So these libraries are extensively used throughout the book. Again, we are covering all the major domains: retail, telecom, BFSI, insurance, manufacturing, healthcare, aviation. All the major domains are being covered across the book by using case studies approach and by quoting examples at different points in the book. We are examining the best practices and the solutions to the common challenges. Like for example, how will you deal with null values or how would you deal with outliers in the dataset? How can you perform exploratory analysis? What kind of visualizations you can use over there? We are also checking the knowledge by having pop quizzes after every section, so the audience gets to check their knowledge immediately. And at the end of each chapter, we are having both theoretical and technical questions. When I say technical means the coding solution, the coding challenges by using open source datasets. So the audience gets to know both the datasets and the practical challenges. We are also sharing the important and significant research papers. So interested audience they can expand their knowledge base and get to know what is happening in the industry too. The codes and datasets they are all checked in and uploaded into the GitHub repository. So one-stop solution for the audience to simply download those Python Jupyter notebooks and use it. This is the link over here. We have our live Manning book over here. Yeah, and this is the GitHub repo where we have this is the live book that we have, and this is the GitHub for the book we have. Yeah, like over here for chapter 2 we have the chapter 2, the datasets and the code that we have used over here. Like for example, for chapter 2 we are using one dataset which is vehicles dataset, and for chapter 2 we are using three algorithms: k-means, hierarchical, and dbscan. So the entire clean code is available over here with all proper visualizations and solutions. In the book we have complete detail about each and every step. Thank you.